This is Homo Sound with Niamh.
Hello.
Great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Nice, great. So you and I discussed about a couple of things tonight. Do you want to start telling me how you started doing music? How did MOTZ came about, actually?
Yeah, sure. Well, I started doing music in 3 years ago when I moved to London. I moved here 5 years ago, but I wasn't in music. But yeah, I was doing a music production course in a place called Subbase Academy in Waterloo. I was doing music production there and I wasn't working or anything. I was just living off money that I had saved from my job and everything, which was back in Dublin for a few months. And I used that money to come back to London and do this course and just pay rent and yeah. But so I was studying music production, and at the time I remember thinking like, oh, I'm doing this course, this is great, but also I should probably look into getting jobs now, like related to the music industry, because before that I was working in Topshop and then I was working as a barista, and I was just terrible. Like, I hated those jobs so much, and I was thinking, well, I should probably get a job now that is related to music. So while I was studying music production, I started looking around online at internships in agencies, clubs, anything really that was related to electronic music. And I saw there was an opening at Egg in King's Cross for a bookings intern. So I was doing that for 3 months, and they were kind of like, I guess it was on probation. And then I got the job there, and I was working as a bookings assistant for over a year. And then they gave me more work as like PR and writing and stuff. And then towards the end of my time at Egg, I was doing bookings, co-managing. Sorry, I'm actually still at Egg right now, but I'm doing like the managing of the bookings now, and I'm leaving at the end of December to work for a new club as their bookings manager in Soho, which is going to be more house and disco and really out of my comfort zone, but I'm just doing it because I need something new. I'm ready for a challenge, and it's run by the same people behind E1, and obviously they have an amazing space and I really trust them. So yeah.
Yeah, it's great, yeah. So you progressed from essentially like coming to London to do music, to study music. You say, okay, fuck it, I'm gonna drop everything else. I just want to do music, and whatever will allow me to do that, I'll do it. And you started with other random jobs, whatever day job you could find.
Yeah.
Eventually you got into music job, and then Egg was your kind of anchor job until now.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And I learned so much in Egg. I learned everything about bookings, promoting, what it's like to run a club. Like, I had no idea about club life or anything like that when I first joined. There's so much costs behind running a club. There's such a team behind running a club. It's been around for 17 years. So I joined like an institution really, and like I'm so happy I did, because yeah, I've learned so much from it. And it's been through so many changes. When it first was built, there was nothing around the club. Now it's surrounded by apartments, and you know, I joined when those apartments were being built, and it's kind of shit. Like, there was a tough time when those apartments were built, and there was loads of complaints and everything, but now I think the neighbours have kind of accepted it. But yeah, I joined a club that has been around for so long, but there was also so many changes, and I got to see the impact of that in good ways and bad ways. So yeah, I learned everything about booking and everything there is about the scene, I guess, through Egg, and like I'm so thankful for that. So yeah.
What was something you didn't expect to learn, and that actually came as unexpected, and then it's something you will bring with you wherever you go now?
I think maybe just trying new things in the club. Sometimes it hasn't worked out, as in maybe just being open-minded to putting new brands and sounds into the club. Like, for example, we now have a lot of residents of Osgood coming to the club to play, and when I first joined that was out of the question, but now they're playing and it's really great. Like, we're having I think we're going to have Virginia in February, and maybe when I first joined Egg that would have been a bit like, what, but like, I don't know, I think the club has evolved with sound and everything, and obviously the agents are more open-minded there now. I don't think agents were very open-minded when I joined Egg as well. And yeah, I guess one thing that I learned is to always kind of don't be afraid of trying new things unless it's going to literally bankrupt you. But like, to a certain extent, like try new sounds and new things and see what happens.
Yeah, it makes sense. And I think the thing is that if you risk, eventually you might succeed, you might not succeed. So long as you don't really go bankrupt.
Yeah.
I think you should try.
Yeah, definitely. You need to try with like a plan in place. And I guess as well, getting as much information as possible and planning ahead with as much information as possible is always going to be like valuable. Also, just being as upfront and transparent as possible. Not saying that I was dishonest or anything, but like the more information that you give people when you're running shows, just the better, like from the get-go. And also just get everything in writing. Everything. Yeah. That's something I'm never going to forget. Everything in writing. Yeah. Definitely.
And it must be very hard for bookers, for managers of a club to actually deal with agents all the time and DJs. There's always loads of problems and complications.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Yeah, right.
That's why you need to everything in writing as much as you can from the start, just to avoid further hiccups down the line. That's what I always say. Just get it in writing. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It saves you a lot of time and hassle at the end.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes sense. Mm-hmm. And is there? So how did the new opportunity to work with the new club came about? Did you meet the guys at some point in your career? Did they reach out to you? Reach out to them? How was the?
Yeah, I found out about them. I saw on RA they did a little piece about a new club called Orange Yard was opening in Soho, and I didn't really look into it, to be honest. I just saw that on RA. And then a friend linked me the piece again and was like, oh, did you see this? They're probably looking for a bookings manager. So I got in touch through that friend who knows the owners, and we went to meet them because he was doing stuff with I think he was doing stuff in E1 with them, and he was like, oh yeah, also this is Niamh, she might be the perfect candidate for the new club in Soho, so yeah, it's good to have a chat with her. And then I had a chat with them for like hours. But it was a good chat. And then I kind of thought about it for a while, and then I went back to them last week and I said, yeah, I'm just going to do it. I'm going to take the job. And yeah, it's definitely, I'm not going to be able to book the techno people that I can book in Egg and stuff. And that's kind of like, yeah, it's very much out of my comfort zone to do this. But I definitely want to try it. And I do trust these guys a lot. Everyone knows the people that own the club, and they've been on the scene for years, and people at Egg know them. There's a good relationship there. So that's kind of like why I really trust them. So I'm happy to do it and happy to take the job. Yeah.
And it's a new adventure for you. It's gonna bring a lot of like opportunities to grow for you personally.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like this time is really about growing. And because I've also just left MOTZ, which was the collective I was part of for 3 years. Yeah. So that's another thing. I feel like I've kind of just made changes that are very sudden and like all at once. And I'm just taking it in my stride. I'm not getting too panicked. I'm just taking everything one at a time. Yeah. My brain is always like on the go, like thinking of new ideas and things. So it's not like I'm just sitting on nothing now. Like I have ideas in the back of my head that I'm working on. So yeah, it's definitely a new adventure, and I'll just have to see what happens, and hopefully it'll work out. But
congrats. I mean, worst case scenario, you just change everything again next year.
Yeah, I could do that. But I guess it's because I've been so in my comfort zone in Egg for 3 years and very comfortable. I know everything there. I just know everything about the club. So to do something completely new, not knowing anything really, it's so different and new. But like I have to do it. Like it's gonna keep my I already have a thick skin, but I think this will make me more confident and more ready for new challenges, you know. For sure. In either way, I wish it's gonna go super well, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna go well. Thank you. But even if it didn't work, you're gonna grow a lot. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, because I do think the comfort zone is a dangerous place, and I was definitely been in the comfort zone for a long time now. So yeah. I think it makes sense, and it kind of it relates to the thing we were discussing before about the club. Like you need to take risks sometimes and go and stretch out of what you're comfortable with, otherwise you will never discover what you can do. Yeah, absolutely. And I want to see what I can do with these new, obviously I know about house music and stuff through Egg and house bookings, disco not so much, but I want to see what I can do and what I can bring, and I'll just hope for the best. Maybe you'll discover the
huge passion for disco.
Yeah, you know, I might. Like, because I've recently, I've been exposed to so many different genres through Egg. And, like, when I first joined, I remember all I could talk about was techno in the interview. And I still got the job anyway, obviously. But, like, working there has exposed me to so many different genres. Like, even last Friday night, I was doing Artist Liaison and Monkey from BBC Radio 1 was there. And she was DJing and she was not playing techno, obviously, but she was playing, like, house, and I don't know, she was just so amazing. Like, she's such an incredible DJ. I didn't really know, I knew about her, but I never listened to her shows or anything like that. But, like, when she started playing, I was like, oh my God, like, she was unreal. Like, she had, like, 4 decks and was just incredible.
What's her name again?
Monkey.
Monkey, no, I don't know her.
Yeah, Monki. She's, like, I would say kind of commercial and very much house music and a beat that vibe, very much so. But still, like, she was just such a good DJ and she just had the room absolutely lit, like, and that's just incredible to me. I'm just like, yes. Like, I love seeing that, you know, and it's nothing to do with techno or anything I like personally, but you can see, like, such a positive, like, room and such a positive vibe. I just love seeing that. So
it's amazing, yes. And sometimes, like, I think going back to the comfort zone thing, it is that if you keep doing the same things where you're comfortable with, you kind of artificially don't see what else there is in the world. And there is so many other good things that we can explore, that we can find, that we might like, we might not even know. Yeah,
absolutely. So much genres of music out there, like, Jesus, there's so much more out there than we think, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And going back to MOTZ.
Yeah.
So MOTZ was your big project with 3 fans of yours.
Yeah, so Jasmine Azarian, sorry. She started this. It was her idea 3 years ago. It started off as an online magazine, and then she asked me to get involved with it like a week or something after she set it up, maybe. And Stephanie was also involved. She was a friend from Belfast, living in Berlin, and the two of them were, like, mad into their techno in Berlin, and then they asked me to come on board, like, a week later or something. So yeah, in the beginning I was like, oh my God, absolutely, like, let's just see what happens with this. And obviously it evolved so much over the years and became, like, quite established. We put so much work into it, and yeah, it just became like something from something, like, it became something big from something so small, I guess, just an idea that Jasmine had that kind of went onto, like, a online magazine, and we were all writing content. I was just trying to get as much interviews as possible and just general content from DJs that we liked, and yeah, it just went from there. And then Jasmine set up the label. She's been doing most of the label stuff now for the last 3 years. I never really got massively involved in it. I just kind of left that to her, and she's got so much, like, we started just doing premieres from different people. I think we did one from Metempsychosis. Premieres from different people, and then DJs were making tracks for us and everything, and then we put that out online, and we get a good bit of traffic, and yeah, then it evolved into events as well. We did the first party in Berlin 3 years ago with Ossian. Was it Ossian? Yeah, it was. And then we did events in London then as well, and then we did one event in Dublin in the summertime. So we did those 3 cities, and yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I can imagine. And even was it when you first started, like, did you have this big plan in mind, or it evolved with time?
No, we definitely just evolved. I think that was always a plan, like, as in, it was just like, let's see what happens. But I knew it would go somewhere because we were all dedicated to it at the time. Like, we were all very, like, driven and like, yeah, fuck it, like, go, like, let's do this. So I kind of knew it was going to go. I thought like, if this keeps going, like, and we keep getting the like, press and stuff for what we're doing, it became something big. But we didn't have a plan. No.
Right, yeah. So it was like, we just do something we enjoy doing, and
exactly.
Right, yeah.
And I was putting any extra time I had into it because I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed getting to talk to artists that I couldn't normally, like, reach out to, because I had no reason before MOTZ. I had no reason to be messaging people that I liked, or, like, just, I don't know, I really love writing, but I had no reason to be writing things unless it was an Egg press release or something. So I was loving that. Like, I was loving getting to write, and write about people that I was interested in and ask them questions and like just work that part of my brain after being on a laptop all day answering emails and not actually using my brain, you know. So yeah, it was great for me, to be honest. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, and then it makes sense because I mean, I think when you do something you really like, aside from the outcome, even detaching from the outcome, the process of doing it gives you a lot of satisfaction.
Oh my god, absolutely. And just you just have to use that part of your brain. It can just go dead, you know. You know, that creative part of your brain, like if you're not using it actively, it literally just fizzles away. And this is what happens when you just work too much and you don't like indulge your passions, you know.
Got it. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I think when you develop your passion, actually your creativity boost, it gets a lot of boost. I think it makes sense, and then the outcome is usually very positive also for the rest of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And did you you mentioned that Jasmine was taking care more of the label, you were taking care more of the interview. Was that like a choice that you consciously made, or it was just
no? I think it just fell into things. But I mean, yeah, we had Ellie. So Ellie joined as well a few months later in the early days. She's another. She's a writer as well from Dublin. And she also loves techno. And she was really talented. She is a really talented writer. She's still in the collective as well. And then Maeve O'Connor joined last year. She is a DJ from Limerick and a producer as well. And she's done a good bit of writing as well. And who else? Georgia. We had Georgia as well for about a year. Wow. She's another DJ and producer from Wexford, so from Ireland, and she lives in Berlin as well. But yeah, Georgia's now doing her own thing, focusing on her own label, which is called Skiatic.
Skiatic, who will make it.
It's really good. It's yeah. We'll link that. So yeah, she's really talented as well. To be honest, like all the girls that have been involved in MOTZ are incredibly talented in their own ways, and it was so good to bounce ideas off each other and to have these chats, and like it was very rewarding in that sense as well. So yeah, as time went on, there was like 5 or 6 of us at one point, all very passionate and dedicated and driven. So yeah, but I think Jasmine was always like really on the ball with the label kind of side of things, and like I was just kind of, I would help out where I can, but I was doing kind of more whatever we could do with the online magazine. And then as the events started happening, I was becoming much more heavily involved in the events, because obviously I work at Egg and I know what it takes to put an event on. So it just kind of all came naturally to me to do the event side of things. And I do artist liaison as well in Egg from time to time, just for like extra money or whatever. And yeah, so I'm very much involved in the nighttime side of things. So it's really natural for me to just like kind of fall into that. And that's what I did a lot of as well.
And it kind of makes sense when you're a team. Like you eventually you should split the tasks at least according to skills and desires or passions.
Yeah, definitely. And we did that, I think. But yeah, and then like it was taking up a lot of my time towards the end, and I don't know, I've left MOTZ on a positive note for me anyway. Like we had our last party there in the cause 2-3 weeks ago, and that was just so much fun. Oh my god, that was ridiculous. It was just so much fun, and I loved to just do that. And like I got to play in room 1 of the cause, which I've always just wanted to do like properly, and I was really happy with my set afterwards, and I was like, oh, this is just lovely. Like I've ended my journey with MOTZ on a positive note for me anyway. And yeah, I just think it's time now to just focus on my own thing and kind of see what will happen next year. But it was really, really rewarding with MOTZ, I have to say.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, especially when you do something you enjoy doing.
Yeah, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, it's I can see it from from how you speak about it.
Yeah, no, I did. I really enjoyed it, and like we got so much. We were in Mix Mag as well. We had like a 4-page feature, and I remember being like, oh my god, like this is just insane, and it's so good to see your hard work in like a print magazine. Like I just loved it. That was great.
I think this is another thing that I'm seeing more and more. Like, was that expected? Like, did you expect to get on Mix Mag eventually, or it just came?
No, I basically met Marcus Barnes, who's the journalist. I met him covering the Egg birthday. We're in 2017 or 2017, I can't remember, 18, maybe it's 2018, yeah. And I said, we were just chatting and I said, oh, I'm part of a collective called MOTZ, here's my card thing, let's stay in touch. And then we stayed in touch on and off, just messaging about random music stuff. And then I messaged him a month before the MOTZ event. And I was like, here, Marcus, just, you need to review this. Like, just come down. Can you do anything for us? Like, please. Like, I think I was a bit, I think I might have been a bit pushy, but, you know, I didn't care. And, because, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get, like, so, I wrote him an email and, yeah, probably asked, I kind of pushed him for it. And then he was like, oh, I'll talk to Duncan about it. And, then, yeah. Or maybe I emailed Duncan directly. I can't actually remember who's the editor of Mixmag. I might have emailed him directly. I can't actually remember. But I definitely asked them for it. And then they agreed. And yeah, Marcus came down that night and interviewed us. And I just was like, oh my God, this is great. Like, so,
it's amazing, yeah. And of course, the credit goes to your work. So it's not just because you had the connection, but probably the connection helped you.
Oh, it did, definitely. Yeah. And because, like, I've met so many people through Egg and so many contacts, so I'm like, I'm going to use these contacts. I'm going to absolutely rinse it, like.
Of course, and that's another thing that the more I do these interviews or I speak with people, like, it's always like that. Like, I think your work, the quality of your work is what matters, like, more. It's probably 70%, but 30% is basically, like, you need to know people. People need to know you.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately, but you do.
It's normal. I think otherwise we are in a world where it's so overcrowded there is so many information, so many people that do a lot of stuff. Like, you give, like, if you don't know a person personally, like, it's very unlikely that they will bump into your work. Let's say at the start. So it's also a way for you to actually be visible. Yeah. And there's no, like, if the product in the end is not good, nobody will give you anything eventually. Like, they're not going to give you a favor just because you know them. However, if what you're doing is good and is valuable and you know them, it just, let's say, knowing them is actually an excuse for them to actually see the work.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It is. And I think as well, like, with the whole connections thing, like, would anyone want to cover something that's actually shite? Like, no. Because they're going to get in trouble by their bosses or whatever. And
they won't.
yeah, it's just like, yeah, it's like people who are like, oh, can't believe so-and-so is getting loads of hype at the moment. It must be who they know and stuff. And it's like, no, actually, I know that person is talented and is good at what they do. Like, you're probably just jealous. Like, I don't know, you know, people kind of are very quick to jump to that. Like, it's only because who you know and all this, like, it's like, no, like, people don't want to cover or shout about crap.
It's true, yeah. Because I think our brain make an easier jump to say, hey, they must know someone. That's the reason why they got on the magazine or whatever.
Yeah, it's just insecurity.
I think so, yeah.
Think about the amount of artists who are absolutely insecure. Like, so, like, I feel like half this industry is made up of insecure people who are on a power trip or just, like, have massive egos but actually hate themselves. I don't know. That's what I think. Like,
I think it's very tricky. Like, human mind plays the trick, right? So if you are a little bit insecure now with social media, you see that, like, presumably everybody has a better life than you. Yeah. But you just see, like, a made up part of people's life, and you see the best part of their life. So then you abstract it and you look at your studio. You're like, oh shit, you know, it's raining here. Everybody seems like is having fun. He's making shitloads of money. He's playing shitloads of gigs. You only see a selected part of this, and part of that is even fake or is made up and staged, right?
No, like, I mean, Instagram is complete a load of crap. Like, and yeah, it's so easy to get sucked into all of that. But I hope people see that Instagram is literally so false. Like, it's nice to, you know, if you want to share your highlights reel or whatever. Yeah. But no, it's so fake. Like, hello. Like, even I've seen people post something that will come across really cool on Instagram, but, like, I've been there at the time and it's like, well, actually, no, you're in a shite mood and, like, actually the vibe is crap here, but you're putting it on Instagram anyway, being like, oh my God, like, yes.
It's exactly. I think being aware of this, it's already, like, making a lot of the work.
Yeah.
However, like, just because our mind we works, like, human mind, we see things that we think that is the reality of the world. So you see all these shiny things, everybody's having fun. You think, oh shit, my life in comparison to this is crap. And then I think that going back to what you were saying before, like that brings a lot of insecurity. So if you're a little bit insecure, you don't find your own confidence, like that thing kind of trashes you every day.
Yeah.
You wake up and you see everybody's having fun, everybody's making a lot of money, it's playing or whatever.
The worst thing to do is to get Instagram out when you wake up.
Yeah.
Because you're already starting your day in someone else's life. That's what one of my friends told me recently, and yeah, that is such a good point. I can't stop thinking about it. I'm like, oh my god, that's such a good point. Because I remember I used to do that because I was like, it's good to look at a screen when I wake up because that will just wake me up. Oh my god, ridiculous. I can't believe I used to think that. So yeah, no, don't, like, to look at Instagram as soon as you wake up and then before you go to sleep, you're literally starting and ending your day in someone else's life for a bit. So yeah, I hope people like are starting to see that, like, it's just so unhealthy and it's just going to make you feel more insecure, and like it's just so not a productive way to be thinking or spending time. Like,
it's true, but I think we have a huge incentive for us to actually check it because the dopamine, because of the
self-validation and all that.
Exactly. So essentially you look at it, or you look that you have likes, and Instagram, it releases likes gradually, so you actually get this kind of, it's literally like a drug. So you're getting drugged by watching your phone.
Yeah.
So when you wake up, you really want to watch your phone because you're gonna get your shot of dopamine. It's a bit of like, it's literally like taking drugs. It's the same thing. So we're kind of fighting against loads of like media companies or social media were like pushing us to actually get stuck on a screen.
Yeah.
We're fighting against our own nature.
It's completely messed up though. Like,
very hard, yeah.
And these companies or whatever, they all know this, and they're just like, oh, it's just so, I hate it all. Like, I hate it all. But like, obviously I do use Instagram for promoting gigs and stuff, and if I see something nice in the street, I usually take a picture and put it up. But that's the thing as well, you have to kind of use Instagram if you want to promote gigs or music things. Usually I feel like, I mean, it's just kind of part of the job, but I mean, I don't know, if I feel like you have to kind of schedule it. It's like, I'm going to do that post and then delete Instagram, do you know? Or like just delete the app and just be like, oh, I'll do the music hype thing and then just delete the app for a few days and then just like consider that a little job done as part of the promo for what I'm doing next for like for a DJ thing, do you know?
Yes, and it's very tricky, very, very tricky. Like, I think I've seen very few people who actually manage to get this balance. Even people who seem to have I think some time ago I was following this like yoga and meditation channel on YouTube, and you see it's run by a guy and a girl who are like very, very beautiful, but also like beautiful people. Like, they travel the world, literally like doing yoga and shooting videos of them doing these things. Lovely. And they talk a lot about like environment and stuff. And they shot this video where they are saying, we are addicted to internet. That's our biggest addiction. We escape the Western society. We travel the world trying to do something good for the environment, good for other people. However, we realize that we fell into this trap of like, we're literally addicted to checking out our YouTube views or our Facebook views as soon as we wake up. And that's something that they had to work on because it's so strong, I think, as a chemical pool for all of us that like, even when you're like super, let's say, conscious about these things, you fall into this trap very easily. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, if you've got any like insecurity or anything like that, it's you just fall into the trap then, and then you're addicted, and it's just it's a load of shite.
It's be careful, guys. And one thing, going back to MOTZ, what would be, and then we can shift to something else, but what would be one of the things you wish you knew before you started being involved in MOTZ?
I actually, because I learned so much on the go, if that makes sense, there wasn't any planning. I kind of don't, it's hard to answer that question because I still feel like I could be learning loads. Like I don't know, because I had already predicted some things that could go wrong because I've worked in events with Egg. So like with the logistics and kind of boring kind of side to putting events on, I already knew all the things that could potentially be a mess up. So if I hadn't worked in Egg, I might be like, oh, actually, I wish I knew so-and-so about booking a certain DJ or about something about the venue that we've worked with, or I don't know, something about maybe promoting that could have been better. I already knew so much coming from Egg, so it's hard to kind of think, I wish I knew that something was different the way that was done. I need to think about that. I don't know really. Maybe we did an event in Dublin in the summertime, and it was really hard to promote because it was summertime, and it's Dublin in the summer isn't the best for events, and because none of us are based in Dublin, we probably didn't really expect. It could have been a lot busier, basically. So I kind of wish I knew that Dublin really is a different scene compared to London, because obviously there are techno events in London, but they'd still be busy to a certain extent. But I guess the scene in Dublin is quite different, like very different to London. So maybe I kind of, if I knew a bit more about that, I don't know, probably could have cut some costs, maybe trying to get a better fee for the headliner, maybe trying to get a cheaper fee, I don't know. But we still had loads of fun that night, and it was still a good night, but I don't know, maybe knowing a bit more about the Irish scene possibly for that event, but nothing really that I wish I could have known.
But it's sometimes we fail. Everybody fails. Like the more you do stuff that are harder, difficult, more challenging, the more we fail. It's simple.
Yeah, and then you learn from that.
Exactly, it's a learning.
Yeah. And you take it on to your next project, and it's all. I never really consider anything like I don't have any regrets with anything, like with Egg or with MOTZ or anything. I don't regret anything, because even though I haven't done mistakes and messed up along the way, like I don't regret any of it, because you just learn so much from each one. So
of course,
and it makes you like a stronger person as well.
Yeah, and it's very important to actually interpret it as a learning instead of a failure.
Yeah.
Whatever failure means for anyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. We had a chat about this with Bas from Volt Sessions, who's one of the co-founders of Volt Sessions, this event in Netherlands, in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
And he was sharing that, he always thinks about these things as learnings and not failure, which is a great approach, because essentially you will always fuck it up to a certain extent.
Definitely.
At any point, because you're gonna try to challenge yourself and grow, and eventually, you're always things are never gonna work always all the time. So it's good to frame it as a learning, as you said, and then actually move on.
Yeah, definitely. And also, just to say, I don't think anyone knows what they're doing, actually. At the end of the day, everyone's just winging it, and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
You can't study any of this in school, or you literally just have to hope for the best and, think you're doing the correct thing.
And test.
No one really knows what they're doing, really.
And test, see what works, what doesn't work, and then you actually learn, and then figure out ways to improve it.
Yeah.
And going back to so I know you do a lot of stuff, you're involved in MOTZ. Now you left MOTZ, you were involved in Egg. You did a lot of stuff, including bookings.
Yeah.
Now you want to work for another club in London.
Yeah.
You write also for a publication, right?
Yeah, so I've done a few bits for DJ Mag, and I'm trying to sign off an interview with someone who's up and coming. For I guess an issue next year. It would be next year, because they usually do their issues quite far in advance. So I'm just trying to sign that off. I don't know if I should say her name in case it doesn't actually go ahead.
It's okay, let's not say that.
Yeah, okay. But I'm trying to, because I really enjoy writing. So I like writing about music particularly. So I'm just trying to get more work from them if they'll give it to me.
Yeah. And how did that come about? Do you reach out to them?
Yeah, so I used to write for this blog called Chase the Compass, which was just a free, as in it was a blog, but it was just writers coming together and posting. It wasn't paid, basically. But I wanted to get my foot in the door, and I knew Declan and Lucy, who are both in DJ Mag as well. No, sorry, Lucy works for Days magazine now. But I knew Declan and Lucy through mutual friends. And Declan told me about Chase the Compass, and Lucy as well, how they set up this blog with their friend Jamie, and it was all about just writing about mostly housey kind of artists. And I was like, oh, cool. I'd love to just do a piece up there. I love writing, and I'm just trying to get more experience. So this is actually really funny looking back. I did interviews with Amelie Lenz, Nastia, and somebody else. I can't remember who. before they got really big. I'm just remembering this now. That's actually hilarious. I hope it's still online because I would not be able to interview them now, I'm presuming.
Oh, you never know. Why not?
Yeah, maybe. Like,
if you don't try, as I said, like, if you don't ask,
like, because I said, Declan was like, oh, we're looking for more people to write. And I think I reviewed a track that went up on their SoundCloud, because they also had a SoundCloud and they had like a proper platform. So yeah, I reviewed a track for Declan, and then I did something else, like another review kind of thing. And I was like, cool, I'm going to reach out to people for interviews. And then, yeah, I got an interview with Amelie Lenz and Nastia, and I can't remember. There was someone else, I just can't remember who it was. Yeah. And because Lucy and Declan both worked in DJ Mag at the time, I was also like, here, like, any DJ Mag work, just give me a shout. And maybe about a year or so later, I did my first piece, which was a cheeky bubbler, which is like 10 artists to look out for, and I just did 2 out of 10 artists. I did a drum and bass guy and Holly Lester. She's from Northern Ireland, I think. Yeah. Oh. Is she from Northern Ireland? Yeah. So drum and bass and a house artist. And then as the months went by, Anna Wall, who's also a DJ and works for DJ Mag, I don't know if she still does. Yeah. She emailed me the odd time being like, do you want to cover this person, so and so, blah blah. So yeah, I just do the odd like little paragraph about upcoming artists. Sometimes they would let me pick, sometimes they would just give me the artist. And now I just want to get actual features for them. I'd really like to do that. So yeah, I'm already harassing them a little bit, being like, I think I should do a feature on this person. So yeah, because like you have to put yourself out there with them, because you're a freelance writer, so they're not really going to come knocking on your door. You need to come up with the ideas, and if they like it, then they'll agree. Yeah, that makes sense. So in a way, and also like it's a slow process, like for you to actually get more responsibility, more space to do. Definitely. And to run the thing, and then I think good work pays off eventually. Yeah, it does, definitely. And I like when I was writing those like cheeky bubbler pieces, like I was like, I love doing this and I'm getting paid for it, so if I can just do more features, like I want to someday definitely write a cover story on DJ Mag, because I've seen my own friends do it. Like I've seen people I know quite well write covers for Mix Mag or DJ Mag, and I'm like, I can do that. I know I can. So yeah, of course, yeah. I would love to do it with someone who I really respect and admire, and get a full feature with them. So yeah, I'd really like to get there at some point. I'm sure you will. Yeah, it takes time. Yes. Yeah, it does take time. So yeah, that's like on my list of things I would like to do. So yeah. Well, hopefully, I mean, it's gonna be next year with your. Hope so. Yeah. Let's see. Fingers crossed. I hope so. Nice. And it seems you keep yourself busy with all the stuff. Yeah. Yes, I do. Because there's no like solid pattern a lot of the time. You just have to keep going with doing different like jobs, I guess. Because it's the music industry, it's not exactly swimming with money really, unless you're Carl Cox basically, or an agent of a massive DJ. Like, just being honest, there's either the extreme wealthy people in the industry, or the people or literally everyone else who's way at the bottom. But because I really enjoy everything that I do, like, it doesn't feel like I'm working myself to death or anything. Like, I love doing all of these things, and it's just invigorating. Like, just meeting new people, doing new things, and yeah, you just kind of have to keep busy, I guess. But like, I don't know, I'd be kind of bored just like going to work. Like, I enjoy booking and going to work, but also if that was all I was doing, that's really boring. Yeah, for sure. You know? And I think it keeps you motivated. Yeah, it does. And also it gives you so much flexibility with, I don't know, like just doing new things and like meeting people that you wouldn't usually meet through your job. And just, it's like, you know, DJ Mag, I can cover certain people that maybe I couldn't cover with MOTZ. And with MOTZ, I could feature people that I couldn't cover in DJ Mag. Yeah. So, I'm just interested in everything and everyone to do with music, and I just want to do everything. And it's amazing. It seems you're managing to do a fair amount of stuff. And I've mentioned this before we started. Yeah, I was saying, because I've really cut back on alcohol. I haven't totally stopped drinking or anything, but I'm really strict with how much I drink now and when I drink. And I don't take any drugs at all. So I have a lot more time to be I don't feel like I'm dying, and my brain is way more clear and focused, and if I have drink, that's going to cloud my mind and my brain, and it's going to demotivate me. And like I've had years, like I've done all that, like, you know, like I had my early 20s or whatever and my teenage years where I drank loads, and I just don't have a desire to be doing that, like, you know. So you just have to look, like, honestly, looking after yourself in every possible way, really, that makes you just be able to do everything.
I think so. I think it's super important.
Yeah.
And my guess is that because you have so many other things that kind of pull you, like your week is so full and intense, or weekend as well, it's so full and intense of things you love, that if something else gets in the way, it might be not sleeping enough or alcohol or any other thing, like you don't, for you it's like, my life is all the activities that I do. Like, do I want to give up on that because I want to get whatever? I would just want to forget sleeping for 2 days? No, probably it's not worth. You want to keep, like, the preference that goes to your life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't want to waste time feeling like crap or just being irritable. Like, I've done that so often in the past, and it just hasn't brought me anything. And I don't know, I just like staying, like, clear and, like, focused, and I want to get things done that I want to do, you know? And yeah, I just feel like, I don't know, I have a bit of a fear as well, because I don't have any qualifications. I don't have a thing to just like fall back on. I'm just kind of like, I just have to keep progressing, because there's nothing I can just like whip out and be like, oh, well, I have this qualification in accounting. Like, no, I'm never gonna be able to do any of that. Like, I have to just keep going and just try and do as much as I can, and like maybe at some point I'll be able to cut back a little bit. But no, I also enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, if you enjoy it, I mean, that keeps you going, for sure. Keeps you motivated. And do you have any suggestions for someone who is new to London, or who is been living here and is struggling because they probably want to do something with music, but they realize, as you said, that like it's a very tough industry. There is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
Which means you probably need to do, if you want to be an artist, you probably need to do, at least for quite some time, you need to do another job that kind of pays the bills and keeps you going. Any suggestion, anything that worked for you in your experience? I know you did all the jobs.
Well, yeah, if you're new to London, I guess, and if you want to be working in the music industry, you just have to look out for any opportunities in a booking agent, a club, a record label, a record store even. You could go into like selling records, which is hard work as well, because you're expected to be on like in that shop floor like at a certain time every day. Like, I know Luther Vine, who's the resident of Egg, one of the resident DJs, he works at Panaite, and he'll play a set at Egg from maybe 5 to 7 in the morning, and then he has to go to Panaite at 11, so he might have 4 hours sleep or no sleep at all.
We want to give him a shout out.
Yes, Luther Vine. Yeah, absolute respect for him. So yeah, like, just look out for any jobs that are music related, anything at all. Back when I was looking, I just looked on like Fabric, Ministry of Sound, Egg, probably Village Underground as well, Corsica Studios. I went directly to the websites, but now Resident Advisor have Doors Open, which lists all the music jobs in London, and it's really handy. Also Music Week, you can go into jobs there. They might have more jobs that are maybe like I see loads of jobs there, but they're really specific, like data analyst for like a really obscure like label or something like that. But Doors Open, keep an eye on Doors Open on Resident Advisor like every day. They list all the jobs, and they're so varied, like jobs at Resident Advisor itself, or SoundCloud, Beatport. Where else did I see? The booking agencies. So you just have to keep an eye out, and also don't be afraid to email people directly. Like, I remember I emailed Annie Mac's manager one time when I was feeling really desperate because I couldn't find anything, and I think she was listed on Annie Mac's Facebook page, and I was just like, hey, sorry for the complete random email, but if you're looking for an assistant, I'll do free work, unpaid, like I'll be around, I'm just looking for experience. And they wrote me like a really polite email back being like, oh, we're not looking for anyone, but if anything changes, we'll let you know. Thanks so much, blah, blah, blah. And I did email people directly a good few times actually, like mostly managers of artists, because they're listed on the Facebook page of DJs, just FYI. And I mean, it was all no's, but at least people got back to me. So yeah.
And I guess, I mean, if you don't try, you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't ask, you never, they're
you
never
have
going to
to
come
ask.
to you.
You have to ask. Yeah.
I think is a big learning for a lot of us who have asked.
Yeah, definitely.
And you got a lot of no's, but you got also some yes. At some point, it works.
Yeah, no, like on even most of the things that I've done that have gone well, or like any exposure that I've gotten, I've just asked people. Like, it's very rare that people have offered me things straight up. Yeah. I just ask nonstop sometimes. And yeah, until they say yes, really, or no. But
that's the idea. Even getting a no is like, okay, cool.
Yeah, at least you know then. And also, I'm trying to think in real life, if the person is going out and about, maybe they could, I don't know, there's no harm chatting to the actual DJ that you see playing if they seem sound and if you're not, like, I guess, being weird or whatever. Because you know the way, like, a lot of DJs actually sometimes are out and about before their set, like in the crowd, or they might just be wandering around. Like, I remember going to Tobacco Dock and Richie Hutton just, like, strolled past me. This was years ago, and I was like, wow, I didn't think they actually just walked around, like, what? You can, just, like, approach them and introduce yourself and just stay in touch with them, like, email addresses. I think Daniel Avery was saying this at your Home of Sound. He was like, I love personal connections, and people who are just like, hey, I like your label, can I send tracks? You know, it's nice to, like, people respect, I guess, sometimes if you just go up to them straight up and ask them. So,
for sure.
But, like, also don't be a dick either.
No. I think that's another big thing, that, like, there is a fine line between, like, being transactional, being like going to someone and just asking them stuff, or going to meet them because you want something from them. Yeah,
actually, that's a very good point. There is a fine line, but I guess you just have to be like, if you genuinely like the artist and respect the artist, and like you've done your research, like let's say you want to release on their label, or you want to work with them, or you want to assist their agent, for numerous reasons. Like, you could even just like be like, do you mind if I have your email address? I'll just write you a quick email. Just like, you know, make a point of why, you know, you want to do this. And if it is a transactional thing, like if you're just doing it for yourself, well, maybe you need to question that. Maybe you should be like, what do I actually want to get out of this? Like, or like, what am I just doing this to get something out of it? Because there is a fine line with that. You should probably just check yourself, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so, yes. I was always of the view that, like, I always say, oh yeah, you should add value to people in general. Like, I always thought, okay, for me, it's like, I always frame it as, I'm gonna go there non-transactionally, but I want to add value. I want to find something that is useful for them.
Yeah.
And at some point, maybe I'll find a way to work with these people.
Yeah.
I actually just listened to another podcast from Tim Ferriss, who does podcasts with business people, athletes, and that kind of stuff. And he says, usually when you say adding value to someone else, is because you want something back. So there is I'm trying to understand really what is the fine line, because sometimes you want to meet a person because you really like their work, right? You are genuinely attracted by the work. And you're thinking maybe you want to release on their label.
Yeah.
So then you approach them. I think for me, where I draw the line, at least personally, is like to say, I go and try to meet them just to make friends. And maybe we like each other and we have a, call it friendship, relationship. And I don't expect that to convert into something that is useful for me. And then at some point, if there is something that I think where they can be helpful for me or I can be helpful for them, I just ask. And I try to make it as clear as possible that no obligations. Like, if, you know, maybe I want to send them a demo, it's okay if they don't listen to it. I want to make it clear. Yeah. So they have the choice of saying, you know, I'm not interested in demos. I'm not taking any demos at the moment. I'm focusing on my own things. Okay, fine, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then I think for a lot of people it works, because it's like, let's pause this for a second, the music industry. Like, if you was friends, you would do the same things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. You just have to, like, that is a good way to look at it, I guess. But I'm just thinking as well, like, I don't know, there's a lot of like, oh, if I scratch your back, you scratch mine. Like, people actually get by with that attitude as well. Like, people who are looking for one thing, they're like, oh, like, I don't know, if you write about me, I'll
do this for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, but it does result in things for both people involved. So like, I don't know. There is, I don't know.
Maybe the key is transparency, right? So if I go and I have an agenda, a secret agenda, and I meet you on a night, just let's say I just want you to sign me my music, and I don't tell you anything. I try to be the guy who's like, oh, I love for your drink, or let's say I do whatever I can just so that you need to reciprocate the favor. Yeah. I can ask you a big thing tomorrow. That is a bit tricky, but of course, I mean, it can happen and might be valuable for both eventually. But then if you go there and transparent, it's like, look, I really like your music. Would you mind if I send you a demo? And you are open, like, that's exactly like, that's generally like you're interested in the other person. Then you let them choose whether they are interested or not.
Yeah, definitely. That's actually, that is the way to do it. And also, in the beginning, like, I don't know, I'd be messaging labels and being like, I'd love to release on your label. Would you consider this? But no, actually, that's the wrong way. I think you should just email people that you like and ask them for feedback on the tracks. Like, just ask them for feedback. Sometimes they won't give it to you. They don't have time. Who has time for listening to tracks anymore anyway? Like, it's, I don't know, like, how, like, people are really busy and they don't have time. But some people do have time and they want to give you, like, a few minutes of their day, and that's really sound. Like, thank God for those people. But yeah, just asking for feedback, I guess, as well is better than being like, oh, I want to release on your label, or do you mind listening? Like, I'd love to have them released. Just don't even just leave all that. Just be like, I'd really appreciate some feedback from one artist to another, you know?
I think it's another very good way.
Yeah.
And you, in a way, you're sending them music. If they like it and they have space on the label and they listen to it, they have time to listen to it, probably they will ask you.
Yeah. And well, it has to fit their label as well. That's another thing. And like, people have their own ideas of what they want their label to sound and who works and who doesn't work sound wise. I mean, just put, like, sorry, I know this was a question about the industry and now I'm talking about labels and releasing, but just like put it out yourself. Either like, if it's your first thing, just put it out there and brand it well. Like, if you know any graphic designers, like, maybe work together on it. I'm just thinking that's probably going to cost money as well though, but you just have to find a way to get stuff out there if things aren't working, and but like, do email as many people as you can who you respect, and if you know them personally, or like if you see them on a night out, or I don't know, you just have to be respectful and just be genuine, like. Yeah.
I think it's super important, and going to your point of like releasing on your own way, I think that's something that is available to anyone. It's basically almost zero cost. Yeah. You can set up Bandcamp as an artist page.
Exactly, yeah.
For your artist, and it doesn't cost any money.
Yeah, and you're out there then, you know, in some form. It's not just sitting on your laptop in a folder. Like, it's out there then.
A lot of DJs, or at least the DJs who want to be contacted with promos, most of them, they have their own email address on SoundCloud, for instance.
Yeah.
Very easy to go on DJs that you like and check. I mean, if they're into promos, probably they have their email out. So then for you sending promos, you can do that as cheap as sending a BCC email. Be careful, don't do CC, because I've seen a lot of these emails where like there is a huge list of DJs. It doesn't feel good because you know that like it just doesn't feel good because you.
Oh yeah, don't be doing that either. Like, no, nobody wants to see the copy and paste email. And oh my god, I've had people email my egg address, no idea how they got it, being like, hey Fabric team, or like, hey, what was it? Love to play in, like, they mentioned Ministry Sound as well. It's just like people looking for DJ gigs, and I'm like, no, don't do that, please.
Yeah, that's one of the, okay, so I think there's a fine line here as well. Like sending promos, it's a batch email that you send, and that's okay. I mean, like, people are used to it. That it's kind of, people expect that.
Yeah. And
there are tools that allow you to do that in a very effective way. Labelworks is one of them. Your distributor probably has others if you're a distributor. But I think what you were saying, like, when you get an email that is addressed to someone else, that's it. Automatically it pisses you off, like, in a way, you know?
Yeah, it's just like, oh, sad.
You're like, okay, fuck you, you know?
Yeah, like, yeah, it's just disappointing, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, can you at least, like, spell my name correctly, or just take the time to actually write why you would like to do something with me?
Oh, yeah, like, oh, no, people actually never spell my name correctly, but that's not nothing to do with anything, but it's just hilarious how they spell Niamh, even though it says it in my email address, but anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, just like, yeah, those batch emails, just be careful with them.
Just be careful. I received one of the, let's say, best, not to say worst, emails ever, like I think a week ago. So it's an email addressed to my label, and it says something like my music. That's the subject.
Okay.
And really, it's really like, okay, let's just see. And then the message is this: hello. No punctuation or anything, but forget about that.
Oh yeah, never punctuation.
Yeah. I need to release this music. 2 tracks attached. Full stop.
Oh, no. Yeah, like, no, that is...
Or something like, I need to release the music, let me know. What the fuck?
But that is the standard. A lot of the time. This is what happens. I've seen it. Like, it's shocking.
Yeah,
I wonder about who was writing these. Like, are they sober at the time? I don't know.
Maybe, I mean, it's just lack of sensitivity. Maybe just someone who generally just want to release the music. They just say, okay, I just made this piece of music. I'm gonna send it to any email I can find on the internet.
Well, that's completely soulless.
Soulless, yeah. It's crazy, yes. I would love to actually put out something like a etiquette for people to just write emails that at least are nice.
I know, but people talk about this and they still don't. No one seems to care still. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe it's interesting.
What, did you listen to the tracks?
No, I deleted the email. Like, I mean, it's I generally listen to anything that is personal interest to me with a message or personal message. Yeah. I listen to anything. It might take me a month, but I will listen. I give feedback whenever I can.
Yeah, well, that's good.
That's something that I wish people had done with me. So I will always do it with other people. But if you send me a message, it's like batch sent. No context at all. It's just like super transactional. I'm never gonna listen to it.
Yeah, obviously you're not gonna do that. I'm very curious to know though about that guy. But anyway,
maybe okay. So I'm gonna sanitize the email. Maybe I'm gonna put it as an example of how not to send an email. I'm not gonna put the real name and address.
Yeah.
To avoid that, like, you know, this person put them. Maybe they're a good person, whatever. But I just want to make sure that like any producer who's thinking to send emails, like, they don't do the same mistake.
Yeah, don't do that, and just start off with the people you actually like, and personalize it. Like, it's very simple. Yeah,
it's true. I mean, anyways, going back to your path, like, you know, one thing that we haven't discussed or covered yet is actually your music career. Like, you also DJ.
Yeah, so I love DJing so much. I started it 5 or 6 years ago in Dublin. That's actually how I met Jasmine. We both signed up to this DJ class in Dublin in the basement of this club. We started to learn how to mix then. Like, I was absolutely horrendous though. I mean, of course, like, I didn't know what I was doing. And I saved up and got, I think 800s, was it? I was into house music at the time. Like deep house, that's what I was practicing with. And tech house as well. That's what I was mad into. And so I was practicing that, and then I just wanted to start DJing because I was interested in music, and I wanted to know what all the buttons meant and what the mixer was and all this mad stuff. I just was like, what the hell is all that? And I was going out to nightclubs where I just thought, like, oh, I probably could do so much better than this. Like, the tracks are shite here. But I actually wasn't going to the right places at all until a bit later. But anyway, like, I was just going to like these like classic nightclubs in Dublin that were just like my friends were going to, and it was all like pop music, and I was like, what the hell? Like, no. That's how I got into DJing basically. And then I kept practicing, and I got more gigs in Dublin then, and so sometimes Jasmine and I would play together as well, like back to back. And that's how I got into it and how it started. And then I moved to London after about a year of like practicing DJing and seeing where that was going. And when I moved to London, I completely stopped DJing and just completely forgot about it. And then as the more bored I became in my job in Topshop, I was like, I want to start DJing again, but I don't have decks or anything over here. And I was looking up, like, I didn't really feel like I had any knowledge on DJing, even though I did it in Dublin, but I still didn't know what the hell I was doing, to be honest. Like, I really didn't. And like, my technique and everything was just crap for a long time. And yeah, so like when I left Dublin, I remember kind of being like, oh yeah, I should probably keep DJing because I really need to get better at it. But I just didn't. I stopped it for 2 years, and yeah, then I signed up to this part-time course, which was like once a week on. It wasn't like an intro to DJing. It was like how to kind of, you have a rough idea of DJing and you want to expand on it. So I did that once a week when I was working in Topshop, and then I got back into it very gradually and was enjoying that. I became more into like techno, and I was mad into like drum code at one point as well. And yeah, just learning different kind of styles of techno. I was doing that, and then after 3 years of Topshop, I was like, I hate this. I'm gonna go back to Dublin, not pay rent, live with my parents, get a job, and save that money to do music production. And then when I moved back to London to do music production, I was like, I want to do DJing again.
Wow.
But I was focusing on production then, and then my production course finished, and then I started working in Egg like full time, and production and DJing kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. And then about 1.5 years of working into Egg, 2 years, it was probably 2 years, I was like, can I use the decks in the club, like when I finished in the office? So I'd go down to the basement on a...
Amazing, they let you do it.
Yeah,
wow,
yeah,
amazing.
So I would practice mixing down there. But then also I went to see MOTZ who used to run On the Fifth Day, the parties. I met him at some point in this journey. Was it when I can't remember, maybe 2 years ago. I met him, and I was still like, I don't actually know what I'm doing with DJing really at the end of the day, like, and I just want to improve. Like, I just wasn't improving, and I wasn't putting in enough practice at that point. So yeah, I started mixing with MOTZ, and he was like, we're just breaking down DJing for me, and just looking at different ways, and he was just like, basically, you need to get better at beat matching. That was basically it. But yeah, so he was kind of giving me motivation, and he was giving me motivation into like to DJ again. And then I would practice in Egg, and through MOTZ I started to get gigs through MOTZ, and then through mutual friends, I guess, I was getting gigs, and I'm so thankful for that. Oh my god. And then up until recently, I started getting gigs in Egg just very recently. So yeah, the more gigs that was being presented, I was like, oh, I really want to keep this up. I really want to DJ and keep it up, and just like keep working on it. So
and it's amazing actually. I mean, you kind of represented a lot of like people with what you said. It is basically life sometimes takes over.
Oh, completely took over.
Yeah, takes over, and then it's fine. You can always go back to DJing if you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know MOTZ has helped a lot of people actually that I know in London.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we put the links for sure in the show notes as well.
Yeah, because like he's I had that teacher in Dublin, Aaron, shout out to Aaron. And then I had the teachers in sub bass, and I learned a lot there, but in terms of DJing, I don't know, I could have learned a lot more, to be honest. And I taught a lot of things, obviously, myself with the trial and error that obviously led to loads of bad habits, loads of self-doubts, absolutely no confidence. And this translated into my DJing as well. I wasn't confident in my DJing. I was messing up so often. And I still do mess up, like, obviously. But yeah, MOTZ just really went for it in a completely different approach. Like, what the hell, it was mad, but it was so needed. So yeah, really thankful for the ways that he taught me. I'd recommend going to him if you're just questioning DJing and like what the hell it is, and just improvements on your techniques, and just to get out of your bad habits. Oh my god, it's so important, because I was doing the wrong things, and also, but there isn't actually, I don't think it's right to be like the wrong way of DJing. I think it's just like technical things I probably shouldn't have been doing, but I don't think there's actually any rules with DJing really at the end of the day. Like, you just have to be confident and believe in your sound and your technical ability. Like, it's bad to be like, there's a certain way you have to mix this and this, but you just have to follow your ears, what sounds right, and be self-assured, definitely.
Yeah, I think having someone who coaches you it helps a lot.
And for your confidence.
Exactly.
Oh my God, your confidence is boosted, and any doubts you have, you can just ask them immediately.
Yeah.
And they'll try and because I had no confidence, and my confidence is better now, but like it used to be absolutely below zero. So having someone to help you along the way is a huge, huge help. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And then actually developing this technical ability then allows you to build on top and make whatever you want out of DJing you want.
Yeah, absolutely. You just want to try like more new things. Like I love techno, but I want to try and mix different genres in together and just make it a really colourful experience for people. Because I know when I go out, I'm sober a lot of the time, and I want the DJ to really throw me, keep me on my toes, like scare me, do something mad, like play a mad curveball of a track, like just like suck me in kind of. And now like that's what I want to do when I mix. Like I want to maybe throw people a bit and just cover loads of different things. But then again, I mean, I've seen DJs, like I'm just gonna use Luke Slater for an example. Mm-hmm. He's not one for curveballs, but he's still, I don't know, he still keeps you on the floor, like he still keeps you engaged, but he wouldn't be playing mad like trance or like mad shit in between. He has a very distinct sound, but it's still engaging. I don't know how he does it.
I think it's groove. Like one of the things I've realized over the years is that like you can hear the same track played by two different DJs and it would be completely different experience.
That's true, actually.
Because people like the way they play, the way they kind of put accents on a track with the cue, how they put a track, they merge a track with another one, they layer on top of another one, they play it, it's going to be completely different. Maybe Luke Slater has his own way to actually give this groove that is...
he definitely does. Yeah. He does. And I want to know about it. But so that's why I think it's important to just because like he obviously has his own style, that's his, and that's what you can build on yourself. You can find your own style and find your own groove, and you just have to be confident about it and self-assured with it.
And it takes time.
Oh my God, it takes time. And also just playing out as much as possible, even if the gigs that you're playing aren't actually what you want to play, or you're playing to 4 people in the room, it's still an experience. And I can't stress that enough. Like you can be mixing and confident enough by yourself in your bedroom or in a studio by yourself, but when you play out, oh my God, everything is different. So playing out is so important, saying yes to everything, even if it's maybe you can't really play exactly what you want to play, but don't say no to any gig, like really, like unless it's complete like EDM that or something and you're like, I don't know how to mix that, I don't know, maybe don't do that. But if it's like vaguely within your
it's training. It's actually a real world training.
Absolutely. It's so important. The more that you do, the better. Like
great. It seems like you have a lot of things in your life that are related to music, and that gives you a lot of joy, a lot of drive, a lot of energy.
Definitely.
I can feel you. It seems like you never stop. You're always like thinking about what's next.
I know. I mean, I'm trying to live in the now and all that. But I am thinking ahead a lot of the time as well, because you just have to, because there isn't really massive stability either, and it just isn't. It's not a very stable industry, and you just don't know what's around the corner a lot of the time, and you just have to keep things going, and because that will lead to hopefully more things. And it's like with the DJ mag stuff, I'm like, I really want to keep writing for them, doing bits for them if they have it, because then I can hopefully eventually do more with them. And that's why I'm pitching these ideas to people. And I don't know, it's really hard to it's just really hard to feel like stable and like feel in a nice bubble. No, it's too difficult in this industry.
And it takes time.
It takes time, and you just have to, you need to have some plan, and you need to have ambition, because it's just not straightforward really a lot of the time.
It's not. But since you're managing really well.
I am managing it well, but that's I am really strict now on if I'm going out as well, I'm just strict on, I don't want to be out all night anymore. And I don't know, I work a lot of nighttime events as well, so I don't know, I'm really careful about getting enough sleep. I don't know, calendars are amazing, diaries, I just have a Google calendar, and everything is recorded in there, just what needs to be done on a certain time. And everything's very timed, but
very, very structured.
Yeah.
Is there a way, we're wrapping up, so we'll let you also go and have some rest tonight. And is there a way that you actually manage your calendar? So do you have like a set schedule every day, every week?
Kind of, and no. Like, I know I have to be in the egg office Tuesday to Friday because it's not open on a Monday. So on a Monday, that's like my day off kind of. So I would do any other kind of outstanding bits, or I would recently I've just actually been practicing DJing in a studio where it's really cheap because it's off peak. So I usually spend my Mondays in the studio practicing. And then Tuesday to Friday, I'd be in the egg office. And then I'd usually in the evening time practice DJing in the basement there. But I'm doing that because I know I have gigs ahead. Like I have a gig in Berlin in 2 weeks. So I'm like, okay, shit, like need to practice. Need to like just have some kind of, I just need to practice mixing basically. So that's the reason why I do that. I'd be like, okay, so I need to practice in the basement like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then Friday, I might be working in the office during the day, or I might be working from home because I'd be doing artist liaison that night. And then so that means I have to sleep a bit on Saturday. And then Saturday when I wake up, I usually do something nice, like a nice activity of some sorts. Or just chill, or just do something.
See friends. Normal life.
See friends, normal things. It's so important to do that because I wasn't doing that for months actually. I was literally just doing stuff all the time, like just boring stuff as well, admin, and then I was like, oh my god, is this the point of my life? Like, no, it's not. So yeah, just seeing friends, just enjoying London. I have like a new appreciation for London now. I'm like, I just realised the other day, I was like, I'm definitely not going to be in the city forever. So I just want to enjoy it because it's a mad place, but like it's important to enjoy this city as well. Like I'm so lucky I live in London, and I don't know,
we are, yeah,
like not in the country somewhere, which isn't obviously nothing wrong with that, but I wouldn't be suited to that. And I'm lucky I'm not locked in one place, and I can live in this mad city. So just enjoying London.
I think it's important, otherwise you lose also the point of being in the present.
Exactly. And you just do things that aren't even associated with music as well. And like, even, I don't know, like I want to go to the cinema at some point and see The Irishman, which is, because I love Robert De Niro, and I don't know, I need to do that. I'm like, okay, I need to put that one of my Saturdays, I need to definitely do that. But so there is like a structure. I do follow a structure, but I have to.
It keeps like having a busy schedule like as you do, like having a lot of things, I guess it helps you having a structure.
Oh, it massively helps me, and it helps me feel like I'm kind of in control of things and not forgetting things. Like I don't want to forget something that I agreed to. Like as soon as I agree to anything, I'm like, needs to go in the diary. So
don't freak out. That makes sense.
Help.
Where can people find more about your work, your new projects, current projects?
So I guess I was just gonna say Instagram, but not really. Like my Instagram's mad. There's like some stuff about DJing up there, but I don't know, there's a lot of like scenes. I love like filtering like scenes and making them look like you're on a mad acid trip or something. But so maybe not Instagram. Well, no. I don't know, you can follow my SoundCloud.
Sure.
Yeah, or my Facebook page, which I set up a few months ago, so it's kind of a bit like blah, you know. And I don't know, I'm thinking of, I don't know, I'd like to start a platform of sorts, but I'm also not quite sure what the vision is or the idea. I guess it's a bit similar to what you're doing with Home of Sound, but maybe not with, like, you had Daniel Avery and stuff, like really established people. Maybe, I don't know, I'm kind of just thinking of a few things, because I meet so many interesting people on a daily basis, and like, I don't know, I feel like, but no one's out there at the same time. Like, you're doing this is amazing, because I can't really think of any other people doing this. Like, I know RA have an exchange, but like I've listened to a good few of their exchanges, but a lot of the time I'm like, here, I think so and so should be on the RA exchange, but like they're not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
I'm not very familiar with RA exchange, but I know Red Bull Music Academy does a lot of I guess interviews.
Okay,
with
I didn't know that. Yeah.
They do it. I don't know if there is a set place, but I've heard one with Object.
Okay.
And I don't remember who else. I had one live a year and a half ago in a festival with Bariton from Raster. So Red Bull is very active doing live interviews. I like the format. I think also I like what we're trying to do with Almost Sound is a bit more also on the personal side, which is not just like throwing questions at them about their artistic career, but it's also about what are things that they've learned. I love this thing of like trying to unpack what people have learned. Yeah,
definitely. And that's what keeps it interesting, because like you have to think that, like, the human side of people. I feel like all of this, like, I'm really interested in people, and I want to know like their human side, like their personality, you know, not just like the face of just like them as an artist, or I don't know, the kind of impression of them in the industry. Like, I'm just so interested, and because I've met so many mad, hilarious people, and you maybe wouldn't think that unless like on the upfront kind of thing, if you see them in a publication or whatever. But as well, I'm really interested in like the people behind the scenes, because I am really behind the scenes and in the music industry, and I've met so many people who are just madly really interesting to me, and they're not like famous or widely recognized as like a DJ. They're doing loads of things and they're working really hard, and they're just interesting people. So I don't know, I'm just sitting on a few ideas at the moment, but I'd really like, next year I want to be really like out of my shell and like properly doing what I want to do, and just seeing what happens. It's hard to plan and have an ambition with things like that as well, because you're just going off an idea that you have and you're hoping for the best, so.
And things change.
I don't know. Things do change, and I mean, I just want to have my health and like next year, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I think it's important that people get really swept up with being like, oh, this is what I want to do and blah blah blah. It's like, oh my god, like, just relax, like just look after yourself first, and then you'll be grand,
It's really like a big success.
Definitely.
Great. So we'll hear a lot more from you for sure.
I hope so.
Whenever you have something you want to share, like, feel free to share it with our community.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah, for sure. And looking forward to hearing and seeing the work that you do.
Thank you. I'm looking forward to it as well. We'll just I'm just gonna go with it and see what happens.
Amazing. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.